All right, everyone. Good Thursday, 7:23 the time right now, and it's a cold one out there tonight, but we are quiet. We look good. This plaza cam I never get tired of looking at. It's just so gorgeous with the Christmas lights up, and we have such a pretty city anyway, but whenever you throw the Christmas lights on top of the crown jewel, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? So that's what we have right now, but we're looking ahead to tomorrow. Tomorrow has a chance to be a mess, at least for some of us. With ice. Ice is a possibility. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to see ice tomorrow. I don't think everybody will. I think a lot of us will just get some rain. But anytime there's a chance even for that, it's something that you should be aware of just in case things play out a little different. You know, we're talking about little swings in temperatures and timing can bring the difference between rain and ice. And if it ends up being the ice thing, even though it's a lower chance, then that's something to be aware of. And I want you to know that. And then some rain into the weekend, too. As we look ahead for parts of your weekend, it's going to be wet. Parts of your weekend look great. I'm here to walk you through it all. So let's get down to it and boogie. Let's start out here with the big picture for Friday. And the big takeaways are this. Freezing drizzle is possible. The timing here is going to be afternoon and evening. I'm not worried about your morning. I think your morning's going to be just fine. But the afternoon and evening, we at least have to watch, especially in some places more than others. And this would be a light glaze. We're not looking at an ice storm. I'm not worried about, trees getting weighed down and branches breaking and losing power and that kind of thing. It's just going to be in some spots. We might have that drizzle freeze on contact and get slicking up on us. And here's a little brief science lesson and what makes tomorrow so difficult and so tricky. And whenever you're talking winter weather, it's always difficult. But imagine all of this starts as snow, which it typically does this time of year, up in the clouds. And then if we get rain, it falls through that warm pocket. And you just get rain the whole way down. But this little wedge that you see, that blue line, that is a thin area of freezing air. And when that rain, that liquid falls down into that thin freezing layer, it's still liquid when it hits the ground, but the ground is at freezing, and then boom, freezes on contact. Now you've got the worst case scenario. It's the slickest of them all. Of course, if you've got a little bit more cold air, it's a little bit deeper, then you get the ice pellets, what we call sleet, and that's not as slick. And then snow, of course, that can be slick too, but that's where it stays freezing the whole way through, and the snow in the clouds comes all the way down to the ground, and there's no melting involved. But the worst one to have is freezing rain. So what are the odds in any one area that you get freezing rain tomorrow or freezing drizzle? The best chance is north of Kansas City. So St. Joe, Cameron, Chillicothe, Bethany, Maryville, heads up. Not a guarantee that everybody up there gets it, but there's a pretty good shot in most of those spots. For Kansas City and areas around us in the pink along I-70, the chance is there, but it's low. We're looking at like a 20% shot. It's a slim chance. But sometimes those low odds end up occurring, and you end up getting that event, and that's a chance for tomorrow. If you're south of Kansas City, I'm really not thinking it's going to be anything to worry about. It's just rain. So let me plan your day. This is for Kansas City. Again, driving out in the morning, it's just cold. Tomorrow morning is really cold. I'll show you the feels like temperatures here in a little bit, but we start in the low 20s. But we're dry. As you head out for the afternoon, that's where we start to see the chance for some freezing drizzle. We're first warning you, hey, heads up, just know there's a shot for it. And for the evening drive home, too, there's a potential hazard. Now, if you're north, I'd put those in the red, not the yellow. You can see that here. This is the winter weather advisory. So this is issued by the National Weather Service, and it highlights the best chance where we could see some light ice Friday afternoon and evening. So St. Joe, again, up there along I-29. Kansas City's not currently included in that. That could change if it does. If the forecast changes, then that could get expanded south. But at the moment, that's what we have. So this is also specific to Kansas City. All right, so the morning's dry, but as early as noon, there's our low chance. This will be our most likely opportunity from noon to 2, early afternoon, to see some freezing drizzle in the metro. We don't kick the first one on until about 4, and that's where something's going to be coming through. It's probably rain. I'm really thinking it'll be rain. I can't guarantee that it will be rain, though, but first warn means it's likely enough that we expect something to be around, and we want you to know that it still could be the freezing stuff, but probably just showers. And then we're confident by the time we hit 10 o'clock, it's just rain, but some showers will be increasing. You see the coverage goes up by that point. So that's on Friday. So Friday's about the Drizzle, freezing drizzle, it's all light stuff. 44 is your high temperature, but that's actually going to be Friday night at midnight. Temperatures are going to warm oddly after the sun goes down. And then Saturday looks wet too, but Saturday's just rain. We're not worried about anything freezing on Saturday. 50 will be our high temperature. Let's walk through all of this together here on our forecast track. So again, Friday morning, we're good to go, no trouble. But watch this. All right, you see those little bits of pink that start showing up? There's 2, there's 1. I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit. It's not heavy stuff, but it doesn't take much when you're talking about ice. And there's 2 o'clock or so. This is only one of our computer forecasts. Some of our others aren't quite as cold as this one. So what we essentially have is a race between, it's going to be freezing in the morning. Will that freezing air move out before the drizzle arrives? All right, so if it's slow to depart and then the drizzle comes, boom, we connect and we could have some of the ice. The other question is, how quickly will the drizzle begin? If it starts, soon enough, sooner than expected, for example, then we could also have that scenario. This computer says, yeah, it could happen. Some of our others don't, again. So I just want you to know that. Regardless, it likely won't hang long if it does happen. This is by 4. Remember, I think something's going to be out there for the afternoon. You can see that line where the ice is more likely. That's up by St. Joe for 4 o'clock. So we're probably good. But you're talking about, winter weather and a difference of 50, 60 miles. And that's the kind of margin of error that we don't like to be too confident. I don't want to say it's done by 4 because 50, 60 miles by tomorrow could change a little bit. And I just want you to know, 4 o'clock, you're driving home, just be aware, be checking in. But more likely it's to our north. And if you're up north, you can see it may be fairly widespread up there. St. Joe and Maryville and Chillicothe and places like that. This is Friday evening at 8. We're all rain as we get into 9, 10 o'clock in Kansas City. This keeps lifting out as warmer temperatures are coming in. And then shortly after midnight, pretty much everybody across the board should be transitioning to all rain. But now we got some heavy rain coming in, maybe even a few thunderstorms. Look at this. By early Saturday morning, there's 4 o'clock. Let's get you to 6, 7, 8. Here comes some more rounds. It's a wet Saturday morning. It's probably still wet around lunchtime, too. There's Saturday at 1. So the first half or 3/4 of Saturday, likely for some showers. By Saturday evening, let's say you're going out for dinner or something like that, you're probably looking better. It looks like this is going to scoot on along. So I hope that helps kind of give you a picture of what we expect. It's a tricky forecast. Most likely it'll just be rain in KC, but I don't want you to walk away confident that, hey, we're good to go, and then you're out on the road and you're like, what in the world happened? Because it might happen. Here is what we're dealing with at the moment. Look at that. Kauffman Center for Performing Arts. All looking pretty tonight, 27, but it feels like 16. That wind, it's a little gusty, and that's where we're going to hang this evening, is in the 20s. It's a cold evening for us. We'll be down in the mid-20s by midnight. Let me show you this. This is what you will have tomorrow morning as you start your day. That wind chill of about 6. My goodness, it is cold to get going on our Friday. That east wind's going to be gusty up to around 25. So when that wind gets going, it's going to cut right through. Here's your drive time forecast driving in. This is at 7 a.m. Temperature should be around 23. That's our actual temperature. Dry roads driving in. There's your east wind, 10 to 20, gusting to 25, 7:30 sunrise time. But we've got a green light other than the cold. Students out at the bus stop, they're going to be frigid, probably going to be hanging out with mom and dad in the car. Here's an hourly planner for you. And the thing is, while these are the temperatures I'm forecasting, you can see how they warm even after the sun goes down. Let's say it's noon and it's 3 degrees cooler, and some of our other indications have that. Kind of depends on how everything times out and tracks. Actually, what can happen, and one of our big concerns is whenever it does start to drizzle, that some of that will evaporate. Evaporation's a cooling process, and you get something called wet bulbing. It's a fancy meteorological term, but we have to watch that this time of year. Think about whenever you sweat and that sweat evaporates, that's what cools you off. That's why we sweat, to lower our body temperatures, because evaporation cools us down. Well, evaporation can also cool the atmosphere, and that 35 could drop and get colder, and now you're below freezing as it starts to drizzle. It's another thing that we have to factor in. So this is about as difficult as you can get sometimes. But again, highlighting the better shot's going to be after temperatures are sufficiently warm enough by 4 o'clock that we're pushing into the upper 30s, that it's probably just going to be rain and into the evening. Here's your 7-day forecast. And let me show you, there's 50 on Saturday. Count on some rain through a good chunk of the day, especially first half of the day. Sunday's the pick day, though. I mean, of the whole forecast, Sunday looks great. See if I can show that to you. So you got a backyard tailgate maybe. Chiefs game's away, of course, but 40s by noon, mid-40s. And then we're going to crack into the 50s with partly cloudy skies. Doesn't look too breezy. Good. Now, Monday, we did have a highlight on that with the first one for some rain, but that one looks to be tracking to our south now. You can see how that probably misses us. But behind that, we do have some colder air coming in. That's going to knock us back into the 40s by Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the 30s by Thursday. Here, let me get you the full 7 day so you can see that. So there's your full 7 day. So it will turn colder as we get closer to the official start to winter. The winter solstice is next Saturday, by the way. It's going to be feeling like it looks like. So that's what we have for you. These are the kind of things that we update constantly, and I will have updates for you at 10 o'clock. Can't wait to see what the latest information has for us, and I'll bring that to you at 10. And then, of course, Greg will have more for you in the morning, too. It'll be a good morning to check in. It's a good time to have the First 1.5 weather app. All our updates and pushes and everything's all going to be on there. You'll have radar. You'll be able to see what the temperatures are. Good thing to have as you go throughout your day tomorrow. But 10 o'clock, I'll bring you the latest, try to help with your plans, show you everything as I see it, give you kind of the range of how it could play out tomorrow, because no matter what, this is going to be a tricky one, and I just want you to be prepped for it. So take care. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe tomorrow. Have a great Friday. Take care.